let's kind of transition. So, you built this business, in insurance. I mean, teams in multiple territories, large financial services organization. And then you say, okay, well, I'm going to take these structures, processes, you already had the work ethic that's embedded, and then move it into the business consultant. Tell me how that came about. How did Blackwell Legacy Group start?
I was forced. I was forced in a sense. My wife, pretty much, primarily, my wife got burnt out with financial service, like the burn of like the 30-day cycle window on work windows. She got kind of burnt out. So I said, all right, well, let's see what we can do so that we can, like build something ourselves where we can really control it. So one of the things that happened, within this process was like you said, you mentioned it before, like the self-development stuff. I hadn't listened to the radio probably in like 3 or 4 years, because when I would get in the car, I'm listening to I have podcasts on, or at the time like CDs and stuff, right? So I'm listening to, I'm just doing self-development. It's literally all I'm doing. Like I might find a book and I'm listening to a book opposed to the radio, because I don't really care what's on the radio, because I wanted to make sure that, I think about the time that I spend in the car, and that's just time that I can use, creatively, opposed to just wasting it, right? So I was in that space. So I had really rebranded myself, rebuilt myself to be almost like a self-improvement junkie. But not only was it like self-improvement, because I was also trying to apply these things too, so I could be a better person and also a better leader. Because I think one of the things in network marketing as well is you're forced to be a leader. Like if you get to a certain level, I'm gonna say that, you get to a certain level, you're gonna have downlines. You're gonna have people that look up to you or report to you to some degree, and you want to be able to pour into them. But I always understood I can't pour into someone if my cup is empty. So I have to always refill my cup so that I can refill someone else's cup. So that same thing correlates to business in general. So transition. What I realized is business is simple. All business is the same. Once you understand the formula, you can apply it to any business. So when you look at business, it's only 3 factors. These are only 3 factors that we teach. So this everything kind of comes together. So the only 3 things that we teach on is client acquisition, services, and retention. And of course, like it's subsectors from that. But those are the only 3 things that matter in business. So how do I get clients? How are my services? And how do I retain clients, right? So if you apply those 3 things to any, and this is what I've learned over the years, if you apply those 3 things to any business, effectively, it will run.
That's right.
So I took some of the things that I learned from, the insurance industry, like how to recruit. I use that to build relationships, right? So now I have multiple joint venture partnerships where I have people in different industries that would just send me clients. They would send me leads, right? I learned the leadership things. I learned that. I learned prospecting. I'm not afraid to cold call. I will cold call anybody, what I'm saying? Because within the insurance industry, it gets to a point where you have to start the process of reaching out, because I've went through my warm market. Now, who the heck do I talk to? So, you have to, go through that process of, all right, I need to go find new clients to talk to. You can't be afraid, because this means, if I eat or not. So, and the benefit is you're doing something that really helps people. It's really good for people. So it takes away like the sliminess of it, if that makes sense. So, so it's just so many things that correlates, what I learned from network marketing, that is they're just business principles. There's no way around it.
Absolutely. How I want to kind of delve a little bit more into that, but even in the principles that you described, that you're teaching, business owners now, new and experienced, I mean, that can be applied for somebody working in financial services, working in the insurance. Well, 100%. They could be financial services, they could be property and casualty, they can really be in any segment, in any business, in any category, 100%. In any industry. But specifically, here's what I see a lot of. I see a lot of 1099 agents who don't have a business set up. Can you speak to those people and why it's important to create an entity and run your business as an agent as your business?
So I think, so here's the thing. It's I'm not going to go too deep into like the negative side, but I think some of it is, sometimes it's companies, sometimes it's uplines, and I think it's just how it's packaged, right? So, and what I mean by that is sometimes I think it's a thing of like the getting to the hamster wheel in a sense, where it's not the focus of, hey, I need you to build a business, right? Because I've worked with insurance agents, before too. And I remember I was talking to an insurance agent. This was like last year or sometime, and he didn't know that I was in the financial services industry. So I'm telling him different stuff. He's like, man, crap, that's a great idea. I'm like, man, I know, because it works. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because what happens is we get into the habit of, we only look. So here's the thing. I said the three things we need to run a business, right? A lot of times what I've seen from insurance agents is they look at only one of them. And that's what? Client acquisition. They only look at, how do I get clients? They don't care about the services. They definitely don't care about the retention, right? So one of the things that that benefited me the most in sales was I had a very consultative approach, right? I'm not a Grant Cardone. I'm more of a Joe Pesci, right? So, my style is I'm just like I am now. I'm just laid back. These are the facts. This is what it is. This is how it can benefit you. You saying yes, cool. You saying no, cool. You know what I'm saying? We keep it moving. So one of the things that I always wanted to do was, I wanted to let this client know that forget the life insurance, forget all this other stuff. Look, I want to make sure that you're good, right? So I'm not going to hit you over the head. I'm not going to give you the most, so if this insurance policy can cost $50, I'm not going to make you spend 100. Let's do 50, and then let's take this other 50 that you may have. Now let's start this emergency fund. And now let's put a plan together to get you out of debt. So now that'll free up more money. Then you can increase it to $50 to $100. So I always looked at it from that perspective, like the long game, because I always wanted to make sure that if I call a client right now, they would answer the phone and they're excited to hear from me. I never want to be in that position where I'm in the grocery store. I'm hiding behind the potato chips because I ripped somebody off. Like I can't. My memory isn't that good. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to be thinking, dang, but did I rip this person off? Like, no, forget that. I just rather do right by people, but that goes back to the 8-year-old Terrence, like the integrity, right? I know that, if I do right by people, it'll come back to me, and there's no way around that. But the structure of, I think, with the insurance agents now, they just look at really building a business. And I think now is like the easiest time to be in the insurance industry, to be honest, just from what I've seen, because social media is now so receptive to certain things. Right. So, I mean, you literally, and you've seen this yourself, the success that you've had on TikTok, like you can literally, go viral, what I'm saying, by educating on different topics through TikTok. Or, if you can do different seminars, like you're on the Zoom or something like that, where you're talking to 50, 60 people, and, if you convert 25% of those, that's a pretty good night. So, I think now is just so many tools that really make it easier. I think the pandemic really made the industry almost bulletproof, for people to get into. So this is a great time. If you're not in the insurance industry right now, this is a great time to get into it. It's easily I think it's one of those things that even if you don't do it on a routine basis, I think it's something that you should have in your back pocket, because it's one of those things. It's a quick wealth hack, like what other industry where, you can go and just make $1,000 here or $500-600 here in less than an hour. You're talking 30 minutes.
Yeah. And you're going to improve your own intellectual capital and your own financial wherewithal along the way, because the same concepts that you're sharing with other people, you're like, yeah, I can apply this too. And you're doing that repetitively. So that innately starts to change your own habits.
Absolutely.
And how you approach things, no, man, very, very, very powerful, and where I was really thinking about is the fact that, folks go in and they're writing all this business and they become successful and they're making money, but they're doing it with their social security number. That's the
man, yeah. That's a whole nother piece too, but again, that's just having like a whole like business mindset.
yeah.
But I mean, I've seen that a lot. I don't and I'm gonna say from my personal experience, it's not pushed at all. Like it's not pushed to actually have a business. You're literally going in as an independent contractor. But you're right. Like the best way to do it now is like to really grow, like really build an actual business. So going through the process to actually set up your business, your EIN, and et cetera, so that you can start the process to like build business credit or, and use that, to, if you want to buy a car, buy a home, and actually have a legit business.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're 100% right. You actually have to look at it from today. I'm starting a business. Get my insurance
and take all the steps. That's why I think that anytime someone comes into the industry, they should also be put with someone like you who has experience in the industry, but also can help them structure it as a business as well. Right. Like, I think that's because here's what happens. Like, if someone joins, when I came into this industry, I jumped into it full time. Like it was my full-time gig. I worked with businesses during business hours. It's 9 to 5, and it was still 100% commission. You know what I mean? Yeah. All on me. But it's like, it's all or nothing, right? But the vast majority of people, when they enter this industry, they enter it on a part-time basis.
Yeah, 100%.
So when you're entering it on a part-time basis, you still may be thinking of yourself as an employee of, hey, this organization, and this is, something on the side, not necessarily my business, versus thinking of it as I am starting a business on the side.
And a lot of them are coming from a 9 to 5 mentality. Yeah. So they don't know, oh crap, like this is actual business. Like this is like, I have an actual legit business. I mean, because once you get to a certain level, even in the insurance industry, like you get audited, you have to file these, like this is like legit stuff. Like, it's not like this something that you're doing, selling cookies or something. Like this is like a legit business.
Serious.
So it's highly regulated. It's probably one of the highest regulated industries, in the world. So, you definitely want to make sure that you really run it like an actual business and not, something a pass by.
That's right. No, I wanted the business consultant, to say that. Don't take it from me. Take it from the consultant, Terrence Blackwell himself.